Everyone, my name is Shahrukh Shah. Under D2L it might say Rook Shah, but just to clarify it's Shahrukh Shah. I'm not quite sure why it says Rook Shah, but it's Shahrukh Shah. My major is clinical psychology, and the service learning program that I got placed in is Contact 211. Contact 211 is basically a hotline that provides referrals for resources such as addiction prevention/treatment, financial assistances, counseling services, support groups, and food programs, and much more. As a clinical psychology major, you begin to rely on a lot of body language and signs that your client might be projecting towards you, and that is what you begin to rely on to help better diagnose your client. And I wanted to better my abilities as a future psychologist by trying to figure out tones and voices and figure out how to help my client in that way, because I might be in a situation where they might call me in the middle of the night and I won't know how to help them because I don't know how to help people through a phone. And I figured Contact 211 would be the best route to take to help me with my major as well as volunteering in the community. And Contact 211 also provides mental health reassurance and referrals, so that's why I decided to settle with them. Just a brief history of the agency. It was created in the 70s, and it was a charitable organization, and it still continues to be to this day. It was originally funded by the Methodist Church as a crisis line for mental and emotional health and support. So people would just call and just talk about how they're feeling or get advice or anything like that. That's basically what it served as. After the 9/11 attack, the Contact 211 line got flooded with a bunch of uh, non-related calls, basically asking for help with utilities, clothing, finding shelters because a lot of people became homeless, and just help paying bills because many people got laid off as well. Um, so United Ways stepped in, which United Ways works as a utilities program. They just help with financial assistances and everything except for the mental and emotional support. So United Way stepped in and asked to be partnership with Contact 211, and overall they just became an agency, like a referral agency for everything that someone could be needing. And they still continue to be partner agencies today. The existence of this program, this organization, is mainly for that. It's for referrals. It's a hotline that people call basically when they don't know where to start in a situation or problem that might be occurring in their life in a crisis. They became a well-rounded hotline through the help of United Ways, because before it was just an emotional mental health hotline, but the government needed another program after getting these variety of calls and didn't want to burden the caller by having them hop from one hotline to another, and so they just became one organization, one hotline to make it simple, easy, and sufficient. And now they serve as a resource center. The population that Contact 211 serves is everyone as a whole. They do not discriminate against sex, gender, race, etc. Callers may even remain anonymous. We have this database where if they call in, we ask for their name. We don't ask for anything else that's personal, like age or anything. We might ask if they're a veteran because there's certain benefits for that, and we ask if they receive SNAP benefits. Because if they're calling about food programs, that really does help, and being a veteran does offer a lot of benefits as well to certain organizations that we support. And we don't check if that information is correct, so they might even give a different name and we won't check and see if it's true, so they might even give a fake name, but they remain anonymous, so they don't even have to give any personal information. And although the majority of who we serve is the lower class, because they are often the class that struggle the most in the population, we do serve everyone as a whole. So sometimes we might get calls from doctors, even wealthier upper class people that want to help families or friends, just basically anyone. They call us for referral systems. And referral numbers, and we serve them. So we don't discriminate against anyone. We just specifically help lower class because they're the ones that call in the most. Some root causes. I'll be focusing on the lower class individuals that do call us in, and I'll be going over the root causes for why they call in. A lot of it has to do with poverty and the economy, especially in Tennessee. Tennessee is prone to having families that are in cyclical poverty, and that just basically means they're in cycles of poverty. These people, they live in a family and they're born into a family that they are unable to escape the poverty that they were born into. They might need to start working at an early age to support families, whether it be their own or families that they've created through marriage. But they just continuously are born into poverty and they are unable to escape it. In Tennessee, we also have a opioid problem. It's really serious, and a lot of people are very much so addicted to it, but we do not ask those questions to see if they are addicted to drugs before we offer the referral services. They have the drug problem and they don't know how to escape it, so a lot of the money that they earn goes to their drugs. And that's not something that we discriminate against either. When they're ready to seek help, they can call us or they can seek other individuals out, but we do offer referral services to programs that could help them as well. And I also mentioned the economy. So if the economy is bad, we also get more callers because a lot of people might not have jobs. And also in Tennessee, along with Virginia, mental health professionals are very underpaid. So we tend to raise the rates of our hourly charges to equal out the cost of living because we have to have some way of keeping ourselves afloat in the economy along with doing what we love. So if the hourly rate of our profession, of our job, of what they seek, they're seeking mental health, but if we're too expensive for them, they can't get help. So some funding for Contact 211 is through grants from United Way. We don't get grants from the government or anything. They specifically work from the grants that United Ways provides. We also get private donations, and the Methodist Church, of course, continue to fund them because they are the original founders. Funding is not sufficient for them. They have 4 employers in the Kingsport location, and those 4 employers tend to have 3 or 4 different jobs. For example, my volunteer recruiter, her name is Lydia. She is, of course, a volunteer recruiter, and she also trains us. And then she's also a public speaker, so she goes on radio shows, talk shows, morning talk shows. Just tries to get the word of Contact 211 out there. And those are usually 2 different jobs for 2 different people, but she has to do both. And that's actually for all the employers. They have more than one job. Their title is more than one thing because they don't have enough money and funding to hire more people. And I just wanted to wrap this session up with some unique traits and some unique things that I found out about this program. This agency provides all 3 pillars of support when other hotlines, other services usually don't. So they offer reassurance calls, referrals, and mental health help. So therefore, we offer all 3 options for whoever calls in. The reassurance calls are basically if someone's struggling with suicidal tendencies, or if an elderly is prone to falling or anything, we actually offer reassurance calls to really anyone that might be struggling on a day-to-day basis. And we say, would you like to be placed on our reassurance call list? And they choose what times they're available, and we can call every day, or there are certain days that we might not, you can say not to call. But we place them on this list, and then we ask for at least one emergency contact list just in case we don't get a hold of them. So that way we can make sure that they're doing okay every single day. The huge population of our reassurance call list is the elderly, because they do not have friends or family that are around to help them in their time of need. For example, if they were to fall, then no one would be around to help them. So the reassurance call, if they don't answer us and their emergency contact lists don't know where they would be, or don't know what could have happened to them, then we would send a wellness checker out. And usually that wellness checker is a police officer, and they'll just go to their front doorstep and ring. If they don't answer, then they'll go inside and just make sure that they're doing okay. And that is a really great option for anyone that might be struggling, especially with people that are suicidal, and this could really save a life, honestly. So I just believe that that little bit with Contact 211 is extremely important, and I think having that word out there is really beneficial to any family member, any friend. Another unique fact is that they are 100% volunteer based. If they did not have enough volunteers, they would not be a program today. This is the only type of program where volunteers actually outweigh the staff. In the Kingsport office of Contact 211, they actually have 4 staff members, and then they have 20 to 30 volunteer groups, or not groups, excuse me, just volunteer people. They do not get paid in any type of way. They do not get any benefits out of it. They completely just volunteer all their time to helping them out, and I think that's amazing, because if, like I said, if they didn't have volunteers, then this program wouldn't even exist. And I have really just enjoyed my time there. I got every learning aspect that I wanted out of it. I wanted to go in and start working at Contact 211 as a volunteer to try and gain more incentive on being a better listener and understanding signs and just cues, just anything that the caller might be projecting for their mental health, and I got exactly that. I believe that I became a better future psychologist through this program, and I believe that a lot of college students actually don't know of this, because if they did, then they would definitely utilize it. These programs, these referrals that we have, help the whole entire population. They don't just help a certain age group. So if there is a college student that's struggling to pay their bills because they're a full-time student, but they just can't afford to work more, or their grades would fail, then we can offer referral services to certain organizations that could definitely help them pay their bills, either this month or next month or anything. We have a number of different organizations that if the same organization couldn't help them next month, then a different organization might be able to. The only problem that I see with that is most organizations do have a limited amount of funds that they get to help the local community. So if more college students do find out about this program, then that might prevent a lot of elderly to utilize these options as well. But I've definitely become a lot more appreciative from working with Contact 211, because I appreciate having the opportunity of being a full-time worker and a full-time student, and having the opportunities that I have, because there are a lot of people that struggle and they don't know how to get out of it. But if anyone wants to work at Contact 211 and they're watching this video right now, I would highly recommend it, because it's a great and amazing experience. It's an amazing place to work at. Other than that, it was awesome, and I hope you have a good day.